What's up, fam? Extraordinary Life with Elijah, and this week Nathan and Rico are my extra and I am the ordinary. Nathan, I'm so thankful for your gifts of concise wisdom to look at very complex situations and to boil it down into very concise, very poignant wisdom. It's been such a blessing to my life, sir, and I'm so thankful for you. Rico, likewise for you, my friend, your quiet and gentle, unassuming wisdom in my life has been such a blessing to me. The overflow of your experience in videography and your impartation to me to help me to grow in my skills, giving me opportunities to try things that I never would get to try on my own, has been such a blessing to my life, and I bless both of you in Jesus' name. Family, I don't know if you noticed that in the video from last week, at the very end of the video, it said 4 years, 11 months, 17 days. That is how long it's been that I've been doing video. As of last week's episode, it was the absolute best color, the best lighting that I've ever produced in 4 years, 11 months, and 17 days. I remember the very first video that I produced clear back 4+ years ago that I was so incredibly enthralled with what I had produced. At the time, I was working for a gentleman named Jeff. When I finished it, we were doing development for real estate marketing. Once I got done with the video, I mixed it on iMovie, I think it was. I sent it to him because I was so incredibly jazzed. I said, Jeff, check this out. We can totally make video. At the beginning of the video, that it's actually called Dinner Time, a Video Test. I shot it on a Canon PowerShot of all videos, and it was just a video of my little girl getting ready for dinner. We just had our second born. My wife was getting tacos together that Mindy, a friend of ours, had bought by. Then as Charlotte was getting the tacos ready, I took pictures of Azriela clapping, trying to get her to act cute and do things, zoom in on random things like this Tupperware container. What's that? Oh my goodness, these text animations. It's just so wild looking back on the quality that I had made, but realizing that at this point in time, this was excellence. Excellence is doing the best that you can with the time and the skills that you have at that point in time. And as I look back at this video, that I remember I had this overwhelming sense of joy in look what I created. I made this, I edited it. And as you go to the end, that I actually have blooper reels that I overflow the audio from me and Azzy and have credits scrolling on the screen. I look back on it, it's such an immature expression of creativity, and yet within it, I celebrate the fact that this is an excellent video. I was doing the best that I could with the time and the resources that I had at this point in time. As I merged forward, I remember there were so many other videos that I did. That I produced a real estate video right on the heels of this in my garage, and it was, again, so incredibly proud of it. I showed it to my brother-in-law, Jeff, to get his thoughts, and said, what do you think of this video, man? Look what I made. This is so awesome. And I remember one of the very first things that he said was, it's incredibly overexposed. Like, you need to drop your exposure down. And I remember there was this twinge in my heart of like, no, it's not, dude. You don't know what you're talking about. This is the world's best video. He was totally right. But again, in making that video, I was so incredibly pleased with what I was creating. Merging forward then, I did lighting tests. We got these 3 light boxes off of Craigslist that had incandescent bulbs in it, but I had 3-point lighting for the very first time and was able to have a very soft, diffused light. I did tests in our studio and sent them again to my broker to show him what we could produce, and the sense of awe, in the joy and the enjoyment of look what I created. Look at the clarity, look at the color of this image was so incredibly palpable. Merging forward then, 4 years, 11 months, 17 days later, that I got to have another experience of delighted awe, joy, and enjoyment in the creative expression of my person, in being shocked, in just being absolutely delighted in the excellence of what I had just created. Family, it's exactly the same experience that I had had when I made my very first test edit with Azzy, Kailani, and Charlotte in our time eating tacos together. The excellence is the overflow of doing the best that you can with the time and the resources at the point at which you express yourself. Family, my first lesson that I take away in producing the quality of last week's video is found in the fact that my camera that I'm recording on right now has always had the ability to produce that quality from the very first day that I took it out of the box. I've merged forward in hundreds of hours, probably thousands of hours now of producing video though, that I had not yet gained the experience and the insights, the skill to be able to coax that quality out of my camera. That's where my friend Rico comes into the fray. And that here a number of weeks ago that I jumped in, was helping him with a video project that he was doing for a client. As we finished with the day, we were coming out to his truck, pulling all the equipment, and I was sharing with him how difficult it was for me to shoot video in C-Log, that he shoots all of his videos in C-Log. And if you haven't worked with video, the desaturated color of the image on the back of the camera as you're working with it can be very off-putting if you're used to working with a standard color profile. As I came out to the truck, Rico asked me if I used C-Log, and I told him no, that I didn't. That I had tried and tried and tried to shoot in C-Log, but editing the video was so difficult to bring back the properly colored and exposed image. Every time I'd go into my curves and enter in contrast, bring up the highlights, and go back into the general sliders and add back my blacks and the whites and pull up the shadows and add saturation. But that I always felt like a junior high girl wearing too much makeup combined with a junior high boy with too much Axe body spray. I remember I said, Rico, I need to have a lesson with you to learn how you get such consistent quality in all of your videos. To which he said, I don't edit my videos every time. I just use a conversion LUT that go to Canon, download the cube file. Bob's your uncle. You'll have the best footage ever. Last week's video was the overflow of me filming my video in C-Log, throwing on the conversion LUT, and bam, the tastiest footage that I'd ever had. Coupled with Rico's insights was also then my friend Nathan's insight. We hung out together, had coffee. It was so beautiful that while we were talking about stepping out and ministering in faith together, Nathan said in the moment, doing nothing is worse than stepping out in faith and failing. Friends, it was so beautiful, just the overflow, the testimony, integrity of his life, that he was living that truth, that as we stepped out together, we were doing music ministry, and that he's growing in his skills, and he has a great passion for merging forward, creating masterful excellence together with other musicians, but that he's growing in his skills on guitar currently. However, in our conversation of saying that he was stepping out in faith and that it was uncomfortable, he said he would rather step out in faith and take a risk and fail than to sit back, stay comfortable, and do nothing. Family, all of these insights combined, my encouragement to you would be that in your life, that you are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works that he prepared in advance for you to do. That the fullness of all of the good works of your life have been with you since the day that you were born. God knit them into your being in the secret place of your mother's womb. And that as you were born, that the full capacity of the excellence of your life has been with you from day one. Now, the process of your life manifesting these good works then is stepping out in faith and taking risks, not sitting back and being afraid of making mistakes or saying, I want to create the C-Log footage converted to Rec 709 that's perfectly exposed and the color profile is just so tasty. That previous to the 4 years of experience in the editing seat, shooting thousands and thousands of hours of video, that because you can't produce this on day one, that you rob yourself of the joy and the enjoyment of experimenting within the process of create, learn, repeat. Create, learn, repeat. Create, learn, repeat until bam, last week's video. The only way that you can draw out all of the good gifts, the good works that God has placed in you, is that you have to take faith-filled risks moving forward to celebrate the process of excellence from day one to day 4 years, 11 months, and some odd days. That it's all excellence. We've been doing it ever since day one. That together with that process, that as you see the lives of those around you that are producing the excellence that you long to be the overflow of your creative author ability, that you would share vulnerably with them, that you would confess the insecurities that you have in merging together with them and walking with them in their faith journey and the expression of their good works, to say, I don't know how you get this quality. I don't know how you do this with such confidence. It just creates so much insecurity in me. How do you do this? Could you teach me? And that out of that place of vulnerability and insecurity, confessing that to one another, that then you get to receive the humble overflow of insights and experienced wisdom that just say, hey man, here's a tip that's gonna make it way easier for you, that draws out that excellence. Fam, this journey with you has been such an exciting one. That clear back since February 17th, 2020, with my very first episode posted under my office building in the crawl space, and getting to see the progression of skill and the expression of maturity overflowing the equipment that I have as my experience grows with it, and I receive the input of community that I so celebrate, that as each one of us serves to please our Father's heart with the overflow of the expression of our gifts, that it imparts grace to others that they can know the Father more. My encouragement for you is to be like Rico, to bring people along in your life that are just behind you, that you can pull them and draw them into the fullness of the overflow, the expression of mature gifts in their life. That you would be like Nathan, that as you have longings to express greater expressions of excellence, that you wouldn't allow the lack of experience to hold you back from stepping out in faith and taking risks, so that over time you're able to draw out the full expression of the beauty that your life is able to produce. If you subscribe to what I am doing, then hit the button, hit it, and then get it. Hit the bell as well to get notified with the new content. And if you love this video, if you didn't just like it, then hit the thumbs down button. I pray blessings on all of your days. I love you guys lots, and I will see you in the next video.